Another timer for 15 minutes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
No.
Oh, fuck!
No.
We need a bit for him. No.
That's why I didn't want to give him to you.
Hey, didn't see you there.
Fuck. Is this Mr. Rogers?
Hey
there, neighbor.
What's up? You're watching Backlog Media. We like to talk about media we've just seen or heard or played or whatever. I'm Ethan. I'm the host, kinda.
If I were the host, I would say, I'm the host and these are my parasites.
What's your name?
My name's RJ Hamley.
My name's Eric.
I'm Ward.
I'm Dakota.
This feels like an interrogation.
Did you guys watch any movies recently?
Oh yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Did you watch any movies recently?
I did. We talked last time about Solaris.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
Solaris?
Did you actually watch it?
I did watch Solaris all the way through. So you have a lot of criterions, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot?
I mean,
I'm just curious.
I mean, I probably have more than anyone here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Do you want to trade?
What do you want?
Do you want like my Solaris for like something I might want?
Do you want 12 Angry Men?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm getting it done, folks.
We did it.
Fuck yeah.
We did it.
Yeah, because I'm
Broker-
like...
We broker deals.
I want Solaris and, yeah, I'm good on 12 Angry Men.
Cool. Awesome. We did it. Solaris is not bad. But not my thing.
I want to rewatch it.
You're not going to be rewatching it soon.
Yeah, well, apparently he's not planning to.
Yeah.
I mean, okay,
Yeah.
let me rewatch it. Let me watch it one more time, and then we can get back to this.
It's about a big old planet that is sentient,
Yes. No, it talks to you.
and it makes you see a ghost life.
I definitely want to give it another reviewing because I love the concept in it, like a lot. Especially like there's parts where like you hear other people's like other characters, not really characters, other people's like things they saw on the planet too. And
Yeah.
they're all really weird, and you don't see them because it's just them telling you it. So when you when our main character finally gets to the planet, you're like, oh god, what the hell is he gonna see? I love everything about this.
I don't want to interject with something. Is this what you meant when you said it's kind of like Silent Hill?
Yeah,
Because that
like,
sounds, yeah.
It's like Silent
That's
Hill
all.
in space. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just that second half, man.
This is your first Tarkovsky film that you watched as
Yeah.
well. His films are slow,
Yeah, well, we talked about that last time. Is it like
long and slow.
how would you compare? Like, is Solaris a really slow one by his standards, or has he made like even more slow paced stuff?
It actually sounds like...
Well,
Well, like, I've seen it, but I mean, it's actually pretty similar to Stalker, too, in that, like, there's definitely more going on than you can see. And, like, different characters are, like, going to be dealing with different sort of stuff that's, like, specific to them.
Yeah.
And you, like, hear more about the past and stuff. But in terms of, like, its pacing, I think maybe... I might be remembering it wrong, but I think it's, like, a little bit slower than
Stalker
some
is
other ones
slower
I've
than
seen.
Solaris,
Or
or is it-
Solaris is a little bit...
well, I think
from what I
all of his
remember.
movies,
But they're all
all of his
slow.
movies that I've seen so far are like equally slow.
Yeah.
Some are longer than others.
Yeah, isn't there one
I
that's
mean,
like 4 hours?
No,
3
the
hours?
longest one really is like, well, I mean, I don't know, like 3.5 hours is maybe.
The longest, yeah. Because Solaris is 2:45, I think, and then so is Stalker. Stalker's like around there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love the concept of it, but maybe I want to give it one more viewing, and then if I still am not that into it, we can do our little.
You're really willing to give it one more viewing, like, in the near future?
Yeah.
Considering it's like 3 hours?
Considering it's 3 hours and depressing, it's just slow.
Ethan's got to fill that time somehow.
I bought a Criterion of Tarkovsky that I haven't watched, but I'm going to watch imminently.
Which one?
Andrei Rublev, which is a medieval period film.
Isn't it like a
It's
biopic?
Yeah, it's about an artist who he looks around all the crazy things happening in medieval times, like people getting their tongues cut out, and he's like, "This ain't good. How can I do art in this?" And it's about an artist's struggle in a terrible world. That one is like the final cut is 3 hours, but there's a cut that you can access. It's 3 hours and 25 minutes.
You can access.
Well, it comes with it, but it's not the final cut.
Okay.
So I guess the director's preferred version is the 3 hour version. I'm into Tarkovsky, but yeah, I mean, if you think like Stanley Kubrick is slow, I'm not saying you do.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
if
mean,
like
it's slow, but enjoyable.
if someone thinks Stanley Kubrick is slow, like Tarkovsky is like real slow,
Yeah, no,
like
it's-
way slower than Kubrick. Way slower.
In like Stalker and Solaris too, I think there's like this really slow, like kind of grinding tension where you're just like you're like kind of like worried about what you're going into.
I actually had a bit of a with Solaris. I had a bit of the same feeling I had with Midsummer, where this isn't a criticism; it's just something I wish was more to it. And I didn't mention this when we talked about Midsummer on here, but Midsummer, I loved the build-up, and when the actual when you actually get to the end and like the payoff, I felt like I could have been a bit more satisfied. Like I liked what I saw, but I was almost asking for more. Like with Hereditary, there was some more revealed towards the end where I was like, okay, it keeps pulling me in. Midsummer, I kind of hit a stalemate a bit. Very minor criticism. I love Midsummer. Midsummer was fantastic. And I think I kind of had the same thing with Solaris. I was really into the concept, and then by the time that slow build that you're talking about, by the time that led to a payoff, I was like, I mean, cool, but how about in a week? In a week, if I haven't watched it, or if I've rewatched it, we'll come to a conclusion.
All right.
Did you guys see anything? Because I haven't really been actually watching too many movies recently.
Fuck.
Before we dig into that.
Okay.
You know what's coming. You know what's on the way.
Because, since we're still talking a little bit about Criterions.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
I picked up Guillermo del Toro's trilogy that Criterion put out. I forget the exact pronunciation of the title of that set. But it's his 3 Spanish language films. And I haven't dug into all of them yet, but I did rewatch Kronos.
How did you like Kronos the first time versus the second time watching it?
I feel like I liked it both times.
Okay, because for me, I feel like I didn't get it when I first watched it. And then when I watched it a second time, it clicked with me a lot more.
I feel like I didn't have any issues getting it the first time, but it was a really nice rewatch. The supplements on it were nice. I did think it was. I guess the one thing I didn't notice the second time. The first time, that made no sense. The second time watching as opposed to the first time is, I feel like there's a similarity between Kronos and a plot device in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh yes,
the mask, insanely so, to a point where I would almost doubt that Del Toro wasn't at least passingly aware of it.
Yeah,
because it's almost identical in terms of what it does and how it works.
JoJo came first, right?
Yes.
JoJo was
in the early 80s. Yeah,
early 80s. Oh dang.
Yeah, so I feel like that had to have been a thing.
Yeah,
at least with a passing inspiration.
Yeah, because there were both alchemical devices that turn people into vampires.
That dig into your flesh.
Yeah, that pierce into you.
Yeah, and they're both golden, aren't they?
No, the mask is
stone. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But still, it's super similar. But I noticed that when I was watching it, I'm like, oh, this is the stone mask.
I didn't really make that connection, I don't think, but they're extremely similar.
Yeah, the only difference being that the Kronos device looks like a scarab and has a bug in it.
Yeah, it's got a weird.
I love the design of it.
Yeah, have you seen Kronos?
Yes, I've seen Kronos once, and it was. I'm glad you brought that. What did you think of it both times? Because I actually didn't like it. I like the style of it, and it's directed well, but it just didn't resonate with me at all. I don't know. I watched it and I was like, eh.
Yeah,
but I want to give it another whirl because it looks. That's how you felt the first time.
Yeah. I don't know, sometimes when I rewatch a movie and I know what to expect, it clicks with me more.
Oh, that's
which makes sense.
Half the time for me.
That happened with Pan's Labyrinth for me. Every time I watch that movie, it gets better and better.
Yeah. Me too. I hated Pan's Labyrinth, and then I loved it. I was 0 to 100 with that movie.
Same here.
Huh.
Yeah.
I also watched, because I had never heard of it, and it was on the Kronos Blu-ray. I watched, it was a short film that Del Toro did before Kronos.
Was it Geometria?
Geometria, yeah.
Which is geometry.
Yes, it's
obviously
by the director's own admission. It's short, gratuitous, and stupid. Del Toro does all the voices in it.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does all the voices in a very high-pitched voice. It stars his mom and his friend.
It's like a horror comedy.
It's like a horror pun.
Yeah.
The whole thing's a lead up to a stupid little joke. And it's 8 minutes, it's 6-8 minutes long, but it made me giggle.
This is so dumb. What the hell? I didn't know this existed.
Yeah, I didn't either until I just poked the special features, but yeah, it's
Did you watch any of the other movies on it? Or you only watched...
No, I haven't gotten to it next. I was probably going to watch Devil's Backbone next.
And you have not seen that before?
And Devil's Backbone, I just want to say, same experience as Kronos.
Okay, because I haven't
seen it. Well, you haven't seen it, so
me.
I was actually thinking about holding it back so that you could see it too.
Yes, let's actually... Yeah, I'll do a viewing of that, because I actually really want to watch that. Yeah. And I want to rewatch Kronos. I wanted that box set because it's gorgeous.
It's really nice.
And I love Criterion, so... Too. Oh, that was another thing real quick before we jump into a certain movie that I know you guys want to talk about that you saw recently. Criterion put out, or it's coming out, I think in October.
Oh, the Godzilla.
The Godzilla.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna put that on the list of discussion
Yeah.
topics that I totally forgot to.
Can I just say, being a fan of Godzilla for, I want to say like 15 years, give or take. I mean, hardcore Godzilla fan 15 years, casual Godzilla fan longer probably, since childhood. It's so vindicating. It's so like vindicating, validating for Criterion's 1000th release to be all the Godzilla movies from 1954 to 1975, which are like all these movies that people have, especially in America, traditionally seen as like low culture trash cinema.
Yeah, that's
It's
how
like, hey,
that's how I always knew Godzilla growing up, because I didn't really have that many movie fan
Well,
friends around me
yo,
as a kid. So
I can super relate to you, RJ, because
Yeah.
as a big fan of Godzilla's Revenge,
Oh.
that movie finally hit in the collection. Of course,
Yeah.
it was gonna. It was always gonna hit the collection.
When you think about it, that
yeah.
has a Criterion C on the
It
disc.
does.
Oh.
It does.
It has the little boy. It has Gabra the bully kaiju.
Is this the one that has like the good dub?
Oh, it has.
Oh,
it has the.
yeah.
It has the dub.
Good
that's so
meaning funny.
It's so bad. that
Yeah,
it's, I love it.
This set really runs the gamut because you've got the first movie is a masterpiece, arguably the best Japanese film of all time, arguably because it's one of them. But and then like the worst film in the collection is perhaps of no value, but
It's a clip show.
You know, I'll
if you're not
rewatch it.
aware.
Wait, this is the
Yeah.
same.
Godzilla's Revenge is like a clip show with a framing device
Yeah.
where a little boy is getting bullied, and then Minya shows up and teaches him to just join the bullies group. It's like a
Yeah.
very bad thing, and then like some Yakuza dudes almost kill him in a warehouse, and that doesn't really have a bearing on the rest of it.
Now, mentioning the Yakuza makes this movie sound much better than it
Yeah,
is.
well, it's just like two guys.
Yeah, but it isn't.
Yeah, but all the other movies are entertaining too. Great, so
I got it in a supermarket when I was like 5, and I'd
Yeah.
seen none of those other
I
movies.
was going to say, it was the first one you saw, right?
It was. I thought they made a Godzilla movie with like 100 monsters in it.
But yeah, I'm thinking about pre-ordering that because I mean it's like what, like
Yeah.
180 for like.
well, in the sale it'll be like 110.
Is it going to be part of the sale?
Yeah,
It's not on sale right now.
No.
Yeah.
but it'll be part of next sale in November.
Oh, next? I thought you meant this. I was like...
Yeah.
So if you get it through Barnes & Noble in November, it'll be like $110,
Yeah.
$112.
I want to... Well, I mean, you guys are probably going to be buying these, so I'm going to watch them via you.
Yeah.
Because I have never seen them, but I've been wanting to, and there's been no, easy
And
way.
these are all going to be like sub too, right? I would assume.
Yeah,
You're gonna see Godzilla's Revenge.
Finally,
Ethan.
liberation.
yeah.
It's-
That's what I hate. Is like all of these Godzilla movies are like they're all dubbed, and finding a sub is kind of a pain in the ass.
This will be the first time. I don't
an
know.
official sub, I guess I should say.
I don't know if anyone here cares about it apart from me, but this is the first time that the Japanese version of King Kong vs. Godzilla will be available in North America.
That is pretty cool.
Which
I did hear about
mainly there are some differences story-wise, but mainly it's just the score is the original Japanese score is very good. So.
They got rid of the score for the not...
Yeah, in the U.S. version of King Kong vs. Godzilla, they replaced it with the stock music from Creature from the Black Lagoon. Why?
What?
I don't know.
Godzilla movies are, especially early on, were pretty butchered
That-
in U.S.
I've
releases.
I've always
Because like
gotten that
the
vibe.
original Godzilla adds like what's his name?
Yeah, the original Godzilla movie goes from a masterpiece to being like an alright B
Yeah,
movie.
they filmed new scenes and jammed an American.
Raymond Burr is
Yeah,
in it.
they jam Raymond Burr into it just to like
They
I don't know.
get rid of like a lot of the social commentary.
Which is kind of the point of the movie, so...
It's not as dark as the original.
Well, considering that Godzilla's about nuclear war, and then you bring it over here, and it's like who made the nuclear war happen?
Well, they made it about a white guy, so not great.
I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
You guys saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Can I just say?
Shoes off, socks off!
Oh
No.
my god.
Toes out for Tarantino!
You guys want to put your
Yep.
toes out for Tarantino, because
Always.
Claire's really pushing for this bit.
Dakota's.
Oh, Dakota's got it!
Yeah.
Dakota's.
Hell
I
yeah.
think Claire has an agenda.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
Toes out for Tarantino!
I was talking about how Chronos didn't really click with me. Devil's Backbone didn't really click with me until I watched it the second time. It's wholly possible that if I watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again, I'll love it. I do not think that will be the case. But Dakota and I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So did Eric.
Yes.
How
much?
Eric got real mad.
Dakota and I didn't.
I don't know.
like it.
I liked it. That's the thing is I'm angry about it, but I also think I liked it more than both of them.
Well, I like.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the difficult thing for me is, like, I don't like it, but I don't hate it. And I think the problem with it for me is that, like, the individual scenes
Yes.
are good.
Yeah.
The individual scenes are good, but they're just kind of, like, put together. Like, there's no... It doesn't feel cohesive. It feels, like, really disjointed and weird.
I have no problem with the movie's length.
Yeah,
Me
no, I'm
neither.
fine with the length.
The problem with the movie is it's pushed along by the inherent tension of knowing that it's in some way tangentially related to the Manson murders, or to the Tate killings. So like that's really what propels like any semblance of a conflict forward, is you know that something is going to happen.
Well, I think, like, the thing too, I was thinking about this a lot. I think one of the problems with it is that the Manson murders were just like a very chaotic sort of like thing. Like, the Manson family didn't, like, they weren't trying to get Sharon Tate.
Right.
So, like, they're not connected. The Manson family and Sharon Tate aren't connected, and these two groups are only, like, tangentially connected to the main characters. So, like...
Yeah, it's very disjointed, as you said.
Yeah.
Like, I liked... Like, Dakota and I were talking about it, like, yesterday, I think, and he summed it up perfectly in a way that I hadn't really articulated, where, yeah, all of the individual scenes I enjoyed watching. I enjoyed watching all of the individual scenes.
Yeah.
But you put them all together, and Dakota said they're, like, less than the sum of their parts. It's like they don't make a cohesive whole to me.
No.
I don't understand...
So they're more like just like vignettes, almost.
Kind of
like they're almost like standalone
Yeah.
vignettes that don't like actually create like a tangible narrative. Is what
I
you're
feel
saying?
like the film thinks it's doing a big overarching
Yeah.
narrative, though.
The film
looks
is
like it was billed as like it had,
Yeah.
like you said, a connection
Yeah.
to the Manson murders
Yeah.
and had that kind of story.
Sharon
Or-
Tate's character, like, it would have been better if they had, like, a fictionalized character that wasn't Sharon Tate or something, because, like,
yeah, probably.
as she is, she doesn't, like... I think she's supposed to function as, like, a foil to DiCaprio's character, like Rick Dalton. But, because she's this, like, rising star, Roman Polanski's this rising, like, director, and they're living next door to him, and he mentions this early in the film, that, like, he acts in cowboy movies, and cowboy movies are going out of fashion. They don't want them anymore. So, it's like, you're supposed to be looking at them, like, juxtaposed. But Sharon Tate... I don't think that, like, maybe Tarantino was comfortable doing a lot with Sharon Tate, which is fair, but
It's fair, but like don't.
maybe
and
you should have had a different character.
I feel like she
Yeah.
should be included if that's the case.
That actually was
Because it
kind of
wasn't-
my. I mean, I haven't seen it. That was kind of my concern with like, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like as someone who like again hasn't seen it, one of my issues, I guess, with it even kind of going in like, is just that I don't know. I guess I'm just like sick of this weird like obsession with Charles Manson. I mean, I understand that it was like a big thing for its
Yeah.
era, but there's this I don't know. There's
Well,
a
of
weird
course.
fetishization of that murder. In
The movie's
particular.
only partly about the Manson murders.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
like,
oh, no.
it could not be involved.
Oh, I know. I'm
No.
just saying, like, just in general, when a movie is like,
Yeah.
Charles Manson's here, it's like, okay.
I remember when this movie was announced, I was actually really... Because I like Quentin Tarantino, even though it's fun to make fun of him now, because it's like, he makes the same kind of movie now, he's a creep, yada yada. When I heard that he was making... Hey, next Quentin Tarantino movie is going to be somehow about the Manson murders, I got really uncomfortable. I was like...
Yeah.
I want him to make a dumb action movie that has some smart filming, I guess. I don't want like him to be touching something that really happened.
I can't.
I want
That's,
to give this movie one compliment. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Yeah, like I want to give this movie one compliment, which is it definitely doesn't glorify Charles Manson
Okay.
Right.
and or the murders. It doesn't feel fetishistic in that regard. But
Yeah.
almost to its detriment because it just like goes halfway with it.
Yeah, we were talking about this too, about how if you don't know anything about Sharon Tate and the Manson murders, like, you're like not gonna have a great time with big chunks of this movie because it doesn't give you enough information. But if you know a bunch, like I know a good amount, and there's definitely bits where you're like, yeah, I already know what's up here.
Yeah.
So like if you have to be like, I think also based on like a lot of reviews we've seen, people are like, there's like a little time skip. Sharon Tate's not pregnant initially, which you can tell from the trailers. And she was pregnant at the time of the Manson murders. And there's like a lot of reviews where people are like, when she showed up after the time skip and she was pregnant, I was so scared. And I'm like, oh, I guess that would have been ramped up if you didn't know it was coming.
Yeah.
So I think what you should be is, you should be like somebody who is like obsessed with the 60s, like you should be like a baby boomer or something. And then also you should like know specifically that Sharon Tate was murdered, but nothing else. Nothing else. Because then because you can't not know that she's like, if you don't know that she was murdered, if you don't know who Sharon Tate is, then the whole is she gonna die, is she not gonna die?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist for you in this movie.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to be worried about her.
Toes out for Tarantino.
Oh, there they are. No, he can't do it right.
He has a sneak zone.
Hold on, has anybody got a knife? Anyway.
Wait, can you imagine if you cut this open with a knife and there were little human feet in here?
Are they little yellow human feet or are they like actual?
No, I pictured skin, like
Oh
skin.
no, they're
It
they're
bleeds.
bulbous and pink.
Well, his hands are black.
Would you describe Barry Benson's toes as juicy?
I haven't seen B-movie.
I want to talk about this fucking movie.
I was just gonna say that Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio are great.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Sorry. Did I slur that?
Not really.
Sorry,
Not really, but like I just thought it was mildly funny. So
Sorry,
like,
I've been drinking. So, in my mind, I want Margot Robbie's character Sharon Tate to have the same screen time and like significant a role as Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, because that's how it's marketed.
Yeah.
And Margot Robbie, who's a great actress, is really underutilized in this movie. And she barely speaks. She's like almost.
Wait,
not-
really?
Yeah.
I knew she like wasn't.
So,
The
I knew she
majority of her
enough,
scenes in the middle are her like sitting in a theater and watching one of her films, and that is juxtaposed to like Leonardo out there.
When you say Leonardo, I just
It's tough.
the turtle.
Yeah, Rick Dalton out there acting his little heart out.
Which era of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles does he play Leonardo in?
OG,
Well,
OG.
But
Well, it takes place in the 60s, so he's actually just invented them. This is an AU. So Rick Dalton invents. He's like, hey Cliff, I made these turtles. It's real fucking weird where that subplot goes.
Yeah.
Does it go anywhere or does it
Goes
just like
off
end
the
right
rails.
there?
so
I'm not gonna say anything, but keep an eye out for the Technodrome.
Holy shit! Fuck.
Eric's turn.
Does Charles
Eric's turn.
Manson
Eric's
drive it?
turn.
No.
Eric's turn.
all I was gonna say is basically I agree with RJ. I think that like the plot with like Rick and with Cliff are both like compelling. Cliff less so, I guess.
Who's who?
Cliff is Brad Pitt's character.
Okay.
Rick is.
I mean, I
Leonardo
love both of
DiCaprio's.
them. So
They're both excellent, but it's just the problem is seeing I think that really the actual heart of the movie was supposed to be Sharon Tate, and I do think that there is so much at risk with trying to follow through with like portraying her at all. So he either should have really fucking put on his big boy britches, if you will, and made like a movie that like treats her with respect and also gives her a lot of screen time. It almost gives her some sense of dignity. But then during the soul scene that we get of her like as a human being, that's not really just her existing as a symbol.
Yeah.
It's a really nice little scene. During this scene where we get to see her and like how she's just happy to bring joy in people's lives and stuff, her feet are like up on the back of a theater seat. And she's barefoot.
Yeah, it's that scene is split in two.
Oh my god!
And both times, like when it cuts back, her feet are still up.
Yeah, and it infuriated me.
The two main foot focuses in this movie are Sharon Tate,
and it's during a scene that should be heartfelt.
it's like that's like rough.
Yeah.
And then the other one is a character who I think is supposed to be like 15 or 16.
Oh,
So also
Somewhere
pretty rough.
there.
The actress isn't, but
which character was it?
One of the Manson
It's
girls.
one of the Manson girls that hitches a ride with Cliff.
Why don't they show Brad Pitt's feet?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Also,
I want
another
to see some rugged toes for a
another
change.
thing that I found kind of strange is the portrayal of Bruce Lee.
Oh yeah.
Not
Well,
they dug him up.
Yeah.
They dug him up and threw him.
Yo,
out
Ethan, this is a horror movie.
I'm glad we haven't even
it's not
had to
real.
like vaguely talk about the ending because like it's for the best we don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bruce Lee is treated like kind of a diva.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
And it's
It's kind of like the trailer too.
well, yeah, it's. I mean, that's really he's kind of a small role. Like that's essentially his scene. Really.
Well, they have like a setup in the beginning where Rick is like, he's like being talked to about like how in cowboy movies if like he was a big actor but he's on like the decline, so they want him to go and like job to like a bunch of like new up and coming cowboy actors because then the audience will be like, wow, if they can beat like it's like if like somebody beat like Clint Eastwood, oh, if they can beat him, then they must be an even better cowboy. And I feel like that's the setup with like Cliff and Bruce Lee, where it's like Bruce Lee and Cliff are gonna fight.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the setup. Yeah, is that it establishes
in wrestling parlance, he's putting him over.
Yeah,
I definitely would say that Bruce Lee is a pretty powerful cowboy.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. There are all these weird little things. There's like there may or may not be dimension to this movie because it's so fragmented. It feels that I don't know if I'm I don't think there's reading too much into it by just trying to connect basic character traits. But at times, I don't know if some of these things are deliberate, and that's kind of a problem.
Well, the thing that comes to mind for me is like, it's heavily implied that Cliff's character,
this specifically,
it's heavily implied that Cliff's character killed his wife, and it's like heavily implied that happened in like one scene in particular. Doesn't really come back. Does it matter? How does this inform the character?
Does the movie feel like unfinished? Does it feel like there's
no, I wouldn't say that.
It doesn't feel unfinished, but it feels script-wise. I feel like it feels underdeveloped.
Yeah. At most, the whole bit with Cliff murdering his wife, I'm gonna say that he did.
It seems like he did.
It colors it colors some of his later actions, which I think is interesting. And the problem with it is I feel like what was being attempted was to kind of, I mean, obviously, like, have some sort of, like, tension with this character.
Well, the final scene is a redemption arc for him.
Which I kind of object to and find interesting. Because, like, it like, on the... we can't talk about that, really.
Yeah.
But,
I do... me and Ward legitimately want to go see it sometime, but...
I almost want to see it again.
Well, I would recommend seeing it.
Well, no, because
what's interesting is
looks kind of good. I don't know. I was excited when the trailer came out, despite being uncomfortable with the Manson thing. I was very excited. And critics, it's been a mixed bag, mixed to good from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I've seen mostly good, surprisingly.
Yeah, mostly good reviews. I mean,
you guys aren't even saying it's bad. You just have like,
to be fair, I think a lot of like big name critics too are older.
Yeah,
like for real though, they're older, and this movie might reverberate more with them because they actually might have cognitive memory of that era.
Going into that too. There are like 20 scenes. Like, I'm exaggerating, but like barely. There's a lot of scenes where it's just like Brad Pitt drives a classic car and listens to classic rock. And it's like this is the scene, and he just keeps on driving. And this happens like 10 times in the movie.
This is like egregious, like I like almost like the '90s kid nostalgia kind of shit for the '60s.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
I hope we get a movie like that.
It shows like an old Taco Bell. Yeah. He'll be like, oh, do you remember how Taco Bell used to look? And it's like,
I don't know. On the one hand, I think there's something to be said about the fact that the movie is about growing at least aware of your sort of inevitable irrelevance, or sort of the process of aging, and you know, there's always going to be a new guard, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's like a neat theme. And I also understand why, as a rich filmmaker with a lot of resources, he would want to just go so hard into these longing, fucking, totally self-indulgent sequences of him just, like Brad Pitt just driving down the street, and you just see all these classic neon signs. And I think that's, like, I get that, and why that's, like, something he would, like, be, like, it's, you know, an impulse to him, I guess. But, like, yeah, it really does become, we were talking when we first saw it, about, like, a movie about kind of just him, about like what he wants, and in a way, like people of his generation, and that's why I do think it's just boomer porn. People of his generation would absolutely like eat this shit up. I recommended this movie to my mom because I know she'll love it.
Okay.
Because when I saw Inherent Vice with my mom, all she did was just point out like all of the cars that she recognized, and
oh my god, this is my dad.
and I think that, like, I don't know, for me that drives me up the fucking wall.
Me too.
But I think, but I understand to some extent. I don't understand it now, but I feel like I will eventually understand this kind of longing for the past.
Oh no, I get that.
And I think that there's always going to be rose tinted glasses with that.
There'll be a movie in the future where it's like, I don't know, whatever hit actor of the time, he'll be driving on the main strip, and he'll be looking at billboards for like the Rugrats and Doug. And it'd be like, I remember the Rugrats.
All these billboards for Rugrats and Doug.
That was the 90s, buddy.
It's the Moonshoe Emporium.
Y'all remember the Great Pog Factory Fire in 1994?
It led to the Pog famine.
The boomer porn stuff would piss you off if your mom is around and she'd be like, oh, I remember that, or oh, I know that. I just finished Mad Men recently.
Yeah.
I loved Mad Men. That immediately became one of my favorite dramas ever.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shows, top 10. Anytime my dad walked in, he would get into history. He would get into like textbook moments. Start times like, I remember that ad. And then he would like get.
You remember the old cornflakes box?
He's like, I had the cornflakes box, and then, oh my god, the ending. I can't even get into it because it's spoilers. But there's a certain ad that is played up, and it's like a big part of the very ending of Mad Men. Mm-hmm. My dad talked to me about that ad for 45 minutes.
Is it Where's the Beef?
Like, can you imagine?
I've never watched Mad Men. I don't know what it ends.
It's super good.
It shows an aged Don like now in the 80s, and he kicks open his door and he's covered in sweat and he's just like, I made your beef ad.
But basically, like, my whole thing is like I can like pull back, recognize that I don't have value for these experiences in this specific period in time because I don't fucking care about the 60s. I wasn't around and I don't have much interest in it personally. But I can sort of pull back and just kind of understand like why he would have such a longing for it. And I think that that's interesting. The problem with that is the person who's doing it and the person who I'm trying to understand and like almost in a way empathize with is Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. And I don't want to do that.
See a foot scene.
I don't know. For me, it's just, it really upsets me because I see a lot of what could have been really good in this movie.
Yeah.
Particularly, again, I just really can't harp on enough how much I think Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate could have been really great because the moments where you can sort of feel that, there's such an optimism to her performance, and it's kind of genuinely sweet.
Yeah, because the movie like revolves around her in concept.
It does, and that's why it frustrates me so much. It's a movie.
She has like top billing with Brad Pitt and Leonardo, right?
Yeah, and the thing is there's so many mixed messages with the marketing because on the one hand you don't want to market it as a movie that is in terms of just the sheer runtime about the Manson family because it's not, and that's fine that it's not. But it is a movie about Sharon Tate, but it doesn't have enough Sharon Tate.
Yeah, that's
she essentially like sort of like appears every once in a while to remind you that she's there, and it's like she's supposed to be really kind of the most sort of sympathetic bit in the movie. Really, she's just such a it's weird. I mean, I think that sums it up. It's a movie about Sharon Tate that doesn't have enough Sharon Tate. And that's why it upsets me, is because I really like the bones that are there. I think it's like a really great idea, especially where it goes with the ending, ultimately. I really actually kind of like some of the stuff that they pull.
We absolutely like can't get into this bit, this bit that's been bugging me, because it specifically deals with like the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. But the way in which Roman Polanski exists in this movie is very difficult in the end.
I know.
Well, I mean, Roman Polanski's existence in general is kind of difficult to reconcile.
He just kind of like looms over it for most of it.
Yeah,
and it's not like he
does loom.
He doesn't stop looming. But like,
stop looming.
Hey, maybe that looming isn't super negative in the end. Think about it.
That's a fair point. I think that, I don't know. I felt
maybe
like
he's kind of a good guy in the end.
Speaking vaguely, I think he tried for like a neutral thing, which like I don't know.
How can you be neutral on Roman Polanski?
Well, yeah.
He has defended him in the past.
Yeah. Oh, he has?
Yeah, he has. Spencer told me about this. There's like an interview where he was like, it doesn't matter. Or something. I'm paraphrasing.
That's like on brand.
No, he is.
Yeah, that does sound
Spencer,
right.
Spencer, my brother, will not watch Tarantino movies because he was like, "Yeah, he defended Roman Polanski. I feel weird about this."
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't love this movie then.
I think this might be his least favorite.
Yeah,
because he liked Pulp Fiction. So
me too.
And I gotta say, this is the first Quentin Tarantino movie I've watched that I didn't like.
Same.
I missed Hateful Eight. That's the only one I've missed so far. And this, I guess.
I wasn't crazy about Hateful Eight, but that's mainly because I thought toward the tail end it like cranks up gratuity in a way that also kind of muddles its message.
Quentin Tarantino doesn't do gratuitous stuff.
Well, we got to wrap up the movie discussion.
Movies are bad, don't watch them.
Next week we're gonna watch Ernest Goes to Africa. This is a real movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't seen it, but
I'm sure it's not.
I can imagine things.
Yeah.
I bet it's very respectful.
I think it's very respectful.
That was hold on tight to your dreams.
Watch out.
Hold on and
hold
watch
on tight
out.
to your dreams. We're coming for them.
We will be back to talk about more kinds of media. That was enough movie talk. I'm wiped out.
Watch out, because we'll be back for you.
What if it snowed in San Francisco?
What's up? We're back, and the cat's making noise. Oh, it's up.
Oh, sorry.
Did we just?
Shit!
I'm trying to get a toy out from under the fridge.
Did we just see a promo from our sponsor?
You just saw a promo from our sponsor, Johnny Knoxville, Jonny Moseley.
Jonny Moseley and his Matrix?
His mattress?
No.
Jonny Moseley and his mattress. Movies, who needs them? Video games, a lot of those came out, or at least a couple ones that we've been talking about. I'm a big fan of the Wolfenstein games, and so are most people here, I think.
I like shoot the video game.
Wolfenstein, not 3, but what the hell is it called?
Youngblood.
I love Wolfenstein 1 and 2. I have not played Youngbloods because it didn't look that interesting to me.
So, yeah, Youngblood is a interquel, but functionally sequel to Wolfenstein 2.
I would definitely call it a spin-off.
It feels like a spin-off.
It's a spin-off.
It's priced like a spin-off, too.
Yeah, but functionally it's still central to the series. It's important to it. In fact, it's probably going to be the jumping off point for the third game, but like it is a spin-off. Like it's really all of these things. Structurally, it feels a little bit more like Destiny, but also not. It doesn't really have the looting aspect, but it's much more about the gameplay loop than it is about kind of delivering a narrative. It has its ups and its downs. I think its level design is way better than 2.
Really?
See,
Yes.
Whoa.
Well,
this is, I was not
okay,
expecting
well,
that.
we got some dissent going now.
So let me explain.
That sounds surprising based on what RJ described to me yesterday.
I think the level designs are better in that they're not nondescript hallways. Like I mean they are, but they're not like.
How far did you guys get?
Well, I didn't play that much of it. I mean, the first, 2 areas, maybe? I
think, so you didn't actually hit the point where the level designs are so
I think
shiny.
I don't know, I think it's more, I mean that from, a gameplay, standard, I think it's better designed.
So it's worth noting, too, that this game, although Machine Games was involved with it, which are the developers of the first 2 of this new trilogy, this game, I'm pretty sure, I have no real substantial evidence to prove as such, but I'm pretty sure, just based on how everything feels, that this game was probably primarily developed by Arcane.
It was.
Which was, because they're on the bill, but they don't really tell you who made what part of the game. But I'm pretty sure Arcane made most of this game, just based on how it feels.
Why do you say that? I'm not familiar with
Arcane made the Dishonored series and Prey, and the big draws for those 2 games, in my opinion, are how non-linear levels are structured.
That's what I don't like about Youngblood.
And that's, I don't know, I think that's...
But that might just be me. I don't know.
I will note that you were off doing your thing when I was trying to do objectives, so we were definitely
I got really bored actually.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I think for me that's actually the least of my complaints is the level design.
Yeah, I mean it's not my biggest complaint.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean I think either way it's not I die on the hill for it. But I think that the environmental design of Paris is neat. I think that the way they actually have. It does feel like a very distinct world. I think that that's something I didn't expect. I thought it to all be copy-paste bullshit.
It goes for the whole 80s neon aesthetic, right?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that.
I like that, but it's not a make or break.
I would say no.
Yeah,
I would say no. There is no 80s neon aesthetic.
I mean, it's there very, very sparingly.
Wasn't it a big thing in the trailers?
Yeah,
I hate to put you on the spot. I agree. Where is it?
I agree with Ward.
I mean, it's got a synthy score. That's really about it. It doesn't.
Oh no! I thought you were talking about literally 80s neon
no
graphics. Sorry, okay.
It's not, but it's what they were essentially pushing.
It doesn't.
It doesn't have a lot of that.
From what I've seen, it doesn't seem to really push the 80s aesthetic.
It's which is actually, in my opinion, really good.
Musically, it does, but that's about it.
That's fine. But I think that I don't know. I think my biggest issue is that and this is a thing of personal taste. It's not what I want out of Wolfenstein. Yeah. I think it's a fun video game, but I am having a lot of trouble caring enough to continue playing it because I don't like bloating a game strictly for the gameplay, especially when the gameplay is pretty decent at best. I love the way Wolfenstein plays in the context of its story. I think it's fun and satisfying. Yeah. But when that's the focus,
see, I don't know. I'm viewing it through the lens that this game is $30.
Yeah, but it's also
that definitely makes it better.
To expect it to be a full $60 AAA game in terms of cutscene and all that, I think is to a degree unrealistic.
Well, I mean, I never expected it to.
I think the only reason, we're not.
The Old Blood is actually cheaper and basically delivers a Wolfenstein game anyway.
Well, it's just I honestly don't like the Old Blood.
That's fine. The Old Blood isn't good either. I don't think it's great, but I think
what was that again?
It's a prequel to.
It's basically a giant. It's an expansion. It's a big DLC.
For which one?
The New Order.
First one, New Order.
The only thing about Youngblood is that its position in the story is confusing.
That's why that's the crux of why it frustrates me.
That I will agree with. I don't really understand why they went with this. I think they just like really wanted to do a co-op thing, but they didn't.
Yeah. Like, I'm just very unclear on what the deal is. Like, is Wolfenstein 3 going to take place after this?
Yeah, that's my main.
I guess I'll figure that out when I finish it. I'm about 2/3 of the way. I will say this. I feel like a lot of people are saying like, oh yeah, it's like 20 hours or something. I have no idea how that could possibly be true because like
do you feel like it's a lot shorter?
Yeah, I'm like I've played this. I sat down and like really just like played this game like twice. I am definitely over halfway done with it. Like no doubt, I've probably played it for like 8 or 9 hours maximum. Okay. I'm probably highballing it, and like
there are side missions though, right?
Yeah, but like they're side missions, and you don't really need to do them.
I mean, to some extent,
but maybe if you add those, it's like 20 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, if you, I guess from my perspective, it's like at a time to 100% any game's long.
Yeah,
but I mean, to actually get to the story, I mean, there's keeping it short. There's 3 big towers. They're called Brother 1, Brother 2, Brother 3. You take down the big brothers, and then you go into the secret brother who's underground.
Oh, the secret brother.
And I'm pretty sure, the undercover brother. Yes. And I'm pretty sure that when you beat the undercover brother, the game ends. And within like 2 play sessions, I have gotten through the intro, and I've done Brother 1 and Brother 2. Yeah. So there's like no way this game is longer than like maybe another 6 hours.
It's like undercover brothers.
Said it was 5 to 6 hours long.
5 to 6.
5 to 6.
No, I could if you just like straight played the game through. Yeah, you probably could. It's not 20 plus hours, not even kind of. If you do everything, probably.
My big concern, and I'm not too deep in it, is the fact that there's level scaling, and that does kind of, in theory, present like.
So the weird thing is like it doesn't matter. Yeah. It like 100% doesn't matter. Like I've fought things that have skulls next to them, and they die like the rest. It's weird. I actually don't even understand the point.
You die when you shoot them.
They really do, though. Like, you get stronger, but it increases your damage by such a minimal amount that I don't even understand why there's a leveling system to begin with.
I mean, I'll give Youngblood another shot.
I'm like, I don't know. I think it's a fine game. I just, overall, am kind of still salty about, like, why the fuck does this exist the way it does, and when it does.
I mainly didn't want it because of the whole time thing. Like,
yeah.
Because with Wolfenstein 1 and 2, the stories of those games are fantastic.
I think it's going to go one of 2 ways with the actual Wolfenstein 3. Because they've already basically said that is a thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
It's either going to do one of 2 things. 1, it's going to happen after Youngbloods, or 2, it's going to happen before it. Because there's a pretty, like, it's mentioned pretty early on, there's a pretty gigantic thing that happens between 2 and Youngbloods.
Yeah, and we can just, like...
It's mentioned in the opening cutscene.
Yeah,
BJ killed Hitler.
Yeah, BJ killed Hitler at some point, and, like...
Okay, well, we know that already happened then, okay.
Yeah, so that's, like, a big thing to not give the player in a game about killing
Well, that's why I was thinking, like, while we were playing it, I'm like, are they going to do Wolfenstein 3 where you kill Hitler?
They have to.
But, like, that
because there's also, references...
So much.
There's also references to, like, Mecha Hitler in 2. I think what could happen is 2 and 3, so 3 happens before Youngbloods. Youngblood's, I think they might posture to make its own thing. To move forward with those
just
two
like
characters.
an AU you're talking about.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Or just
that could be okay.
as a separate series.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time that's happened within the wild world of gaming.
If they do the thing where you were talking about, not with that, but with Wolfenstein 3 of having it be about the killing Hitler, the whole going back at all is just like, I don't like it. And B, I don't want him directly... playing as BJ and directly killing Hitler seems a little on the nose.
I don't like it. Because in this new trilogy, actually don't.
Because when he appears in 1 and 2,
see, like,
it's all I want. It's like he's there.
I'm going to be real honest. I wouldn't mind it because
this is just a difference in taste, I think. Here,
it definitely is.
Because I just
I really like the storyline in these games. I love the way they're set up. I think that they can also take the piss with themselves and give you killing Hitler because, like, at the end of the day, this is a video game about killing, like, ultra cyber Nazis.
But
in, like, an alternate reality 1960s. Well, that's the thing. It's not that serious.
Wolfenstein has walked this very fine line so well of serious and campy.
And
I can tell you have not played the Old Blood. No, because you definitely fight a giant flesh golem.
I'm talking core story 1 and 2. That's what I'm basing off of. So feel free to point out something I'm missing here. But in that
giant flesh golem.
Well, of course. I'm talking again. Core story, core games. Mm-hmm. I love they walk this fine line of serious and goofy in the best of way possible. Like, the characters are so good, but the story, even though it's really interesting on, like, a serious level, is just ridiculous. Like you said, like giant robot Nazis and dumb shit. Like
I have a very confusing question.
Please lay it on.
Is it possible that That
Did you blow your own mind?
yeah, no, I mean it's just like a confusing question. It's not like a mind-blowing question. Like, it's like, is it?
I'm gonna blow your guys' mind right now.
Is it possible that Youngblood takes place in a future alternate universe? We go back to Wolfenstein 3, and it takes place in a different continuity where it doesn't lead to Youngblood.
Possibly.
I thought that's what you were trying to
And
do.
that's like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
and that's
Is that it would be like a steel ball run, like how JoJo,
Yeah.
you finish part 6 and then part 7 and 8 are like in this separate.
Because that would
universe
be
entirely.
fun, because actually on a story level that would work very well.
Yeah, it
because
fixes a lot of the problems.
Well, you would think that it would play with your expectations, because you go back to Wolfenstein 3 that takes place before Youngblood, and then things happen that don't line up with Youngblood, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
that's fair.
I haven't gotten to play
So-
it, but like, but the thing that I was the most like concerned with is that like 2, I feel like leaves you with like 100 loose ends.
Yeah,
That
hey,
will be
yeah.
like these loose ends will be tied up in the near future, and then this like just kicks you super far ahead, and it's like,
it
guess Max House is up to something.
um,
Hope he's doing okay.
the most fucked up thing I can confirm is Shoshana the cat monkey is dead, which is a given, but also
But is the pig dead?
No.
Dude, oh,
Good pig. Pig is not good.
to get back to the whole killing Hitler thing.
We're on the same page with that.
So you're saying you're against killing Hitler?
The second
I
it
am
left
a-
my mouth, I was waiting for you to fucking make a joke about it.
So
Well, I mean, Eric answered the question.
So I think that like there is a, as Ethan was saying, there is a line that the main series has towed. Old Blood is pulpy bullshit that you could play and enjoy or hate. I'm in the between on that.
Hey, you should.
Youngblood is
Oh, the story's fine. I just didn't really like.
it's
really
an
get
essential and
wraps.
not great. Yeah, it only barely is a prequel because fucking what's his face shows up. Fergus shows up at the end.
Yeah.
Oh.
You also learn why BJ does his little breathing exercise.
Oh, it's kind of fun. Is it not fun? Is it like...
It's fun.
It happens.
Okay.
It does have a couple of really good moments, like
His friend dies, everybody laughs, and he's like 1-2.
the co-op player from Return to Castle Wolfenstein gets murked.
Oh.
That's
See,
who that is.
I only know...
Yes, because technically the first game in this is Return to Castle.
I was
Isn't it, like,
hoping.
fucked up?
I was really hoping we weren't going to talk about
sorry,
the
Return to Castle
continuity.
Wolfenstein and Wolfenstein, the one that Activision made.
I don't know if I want to...
No.
Welcome to the confusing continuity Wolfenstein podcast.
Here's the Wolfenstein continuity.
Keep it brief.
Don't ask questions.
Keep it
Return to
brief.
Castle Wolfenstein, first game in the series. It's not the first Wolfenstein game. Wolfenstein 2009. Who gives a fuck? It's garbage. But a few characters that are introduced in it are directly continued on
Death's Head
in
primarily.
New Order.
Well,
Death's Head was in Return to Castle Wolfenstein, but specifically Carolyn. Carolyn Becker, the woman in the wheelchair who's like the leader of the Crisis Circle.
Yeah, she gets the armor.
Yes. She gets kind of beat up real big at the end of Wolfenstein 2009. That game sucks. I've played it.
It's not good.
And then you have the whole rest. Everything else is canon.
and then
the rest.
Then New Order, New Colossus.
Yeah. So the problem that
Old
I have,
Blood, New Order,
the thing that
New
sucks about
Colossus.
Old Blood being canon is it reintroduces like Nazi zombies and again a large flesh golem.
Yeah, well, the thing about New Order and New Colossus is that magic isn't present.
And that's why it's a problem.
And
because,
Well, that's because it's dealt with in Old Blood.
Yeah, I guess so.
And that is true because technically in continuity there was magic, but also I don't know. I don't like Nazi zombies.
I like the wacky sci-fi in Wolfenstein because it kind of fits.
Yeah.
Fantasy seems like a left field.
See, I don't know. It doesn't bother me because it's in the original. It's in Wolfenstein 3D.
But they're different.
I'm talking about new and whatever the heck. Hey, speaking of flesh and goop and gore.
Yeah, we've talked
Marvel
about
Ultimate Alliance 3.
Those Doom ports
came
out.
So
what was the goof on this?
I talk about this, but I need a Bethesda net.
So I woke up a few days ago very excited to see that.
I don't know why that was funny to me.
I mean,
I woke up a few days ago.
I mean, this series of events is pretty funny because it's yet another fucking poor choice on my part.
Okay.
I woke up, I see, oh fuck, Doom 1 through 3 for some reason, cool, I guess. Ported to the Switch and a bunch of other consoles. Finally, cool. They're all super cheap.
Too.
Yeah, $5. Yeah, exactly. They're $5 for 1 and 2 like individually, and $10 for Doom 3. And I'm not crazy about Doom 3, but I still think it's a fundamentally good game.
It's real spooky.
It's a horror game.
That's the horror one, right? Yeah.
It's fine. Misguided, but fine. But so I bought all 3, and I was like, ooh, fuck yeah, doing my Switch. And not long after I downloaded these games, I find out that, and this is being patched, but they have the games have a permanent like always online sign in with Bethesda Net. You have to sign in using your email.
That's dumb.
And it's one thing to have a one-time sign in and you can play offline, the whole shebang, whatever. I hate that, but I'll live with it. As they exist now, you basically have to be connected to Wi-Fi in order to play any of
which kind of negates the value of the Switch.
Well, it's also like it's fucking Doom. The bit on the internet is to just port Doom to whatever object you can port it to. Play Doom on your microwave. You don't have to log into your BethesdaNet.com account to play it on your microwave. You make yourself a little pizza.
Yeah. So like
know,
and the most frustrating part is the quality of the ports is good. Doom 3 especially is fucking crazy.
Well, the best part too is that they would put up like, well, that's a bug, and it's like, was it?
Well, no, the
because
official...
I feel like it wasn't a bug.
Well, yeah, I've never heard them
they called it a bug flat out. They're like, it was not intentional that you'd have to log in every time. Because bullshit.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, that's what they said.
Yeah,
that was the claim.
Well, no. What I mean is, I don't know if that is bullshit, because I think that what they did say is the reason. This is again their reasoning. Read between the lines with it. That Bethesda Net has like a login thing at all for Doom 1 through 3 is so you can get exclusive bullshit with the new Doom, with Doom Eternal. I think that's garbage.
Yeah, but there's no way in QA that they wouldn't have just taken it offline and be like, oh, the game doesn't work anymore.
This is like, some real Monday morning quarterbacking on my part. But yeah, you should like turn the game on before you ship it.
Yeah.
Like have somebody turn on the game, see what happens.
Maybe you should stop backseat developing.
Yeah.
Understand the struggle.
I'm not the developer.
Clearly.
I'm not the developer.
Clearly.
But like they're gonna fix it. It's fine. It's just like, I mean, it's not fine, but
I wish like companies would stop doing that.
Yeah.
Where they do something that like people are not going to be cool with. They like dip their little toe in some like fucked up stuff, and then people like are like, I don't want this, and they're like, whoa, sorry, I guess we goofed. They keep doing this.
Well, to be fair about this, that's been a strategy for a long time. Remember Horse Armor?
No. Oh yes.
Remember when everyone hated Horse Armor and everyone got mad?
the Horse Armor DLC.
But people bought it.
I forgot what was
that was
Skyrim.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, that was Oblivion.
It's Oblivion.
You could pay like $3 to get armor for your horse. Everyone's like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
Money for armor? This is obscene."
Yeah. It also,
but people still paid for it.
It's testing the water until they can get you.
And then once they realized that they could put their toe in the fucked up thing, they jumped in the whole pool.
Yeah.
And now it's today.
And now we have casinos and Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Now we have shark cards.
Wait, can you
use real money in those?
Eric, is this bad news you have to tell me?
Oh, wait.
Well, you're about to ask? The answer is yes, RJ.
I saw a trailer for this.
Wait, what is this?
So in Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead 2 Online, to a slightly lesser extent, I mean, functionally they're the same, there is an emphasis on gambling now. They recently opened the closed casino in GTA Online. That since the game launched in 2013, there's been this casino under construction in game. Mm-hmm. They opened it up, and you can only participate if online gambling is legal in your country. Mm-hmm. So if you live in a country.
Here.
It's not, but it is within the parameters that they set. The way they managed to make it.
Not for long, I bet.
Well, they
not for long,
because
I bet.
You obviously can't pay out with real money. You can't win real money, but you can use your in-game pool money that you have from playing missions, doing stuff, but most importantly, from buying fucking money cards through microtransactions. You can use that to gamble.
So I haven't played. I have a question about this. Yeah, I have a question about this. I haven't played Red Dead in months, but the deal with the poker and that is that you can only use dollars, but you can only buy gold. So you can't buy gold and then use the gold to gamble.
And you can't change gold to dollars.
Yeah, and you can't convert the two. Is there a system like that in Grand Theft Auto that they've added? Because that didn't used to be there.
Yeah, I don't believe there's. I
didn't see anything about it.
Yeah, the thing in Red Dead seems like it was built to protect them from anti-gambling laws because it's not gambling.
Because you can only use the gold on guns and clothes.
Right.
In Grand Theft Auto Online, there doesn't seem to be a secondary currency.
So that's probably illegal.
Yeah, I don't know how this functions.
Or it's like one of those things.
Is it a gray area?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's just gray.
So you can pay into it, and for people who have gambling addictions, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's just.
And
there.
it's I don't know. It's indicative of Rockstar's continuing practices of being anti-consumer and all that fun jazz.
You guys want to talk about flesh and goop and gore?
Yeah.
What type of flesh, goop, and gore?
Well, I've been keeping up on, and Ward and Dakota are catching up on the Immortal Hulk.
Shit!
Comic book series,
and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, the Immortal Hulk.
You don't know who the Hulk is?
I know who the Hulk is.
What's he do?
He's green and he goes like this.
He was a wrestler.
He's the guy that sells vegetables, right?
What?
The Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah.
Oh, that took
Is he still around?
I don't know. I haven't seen his obituary.
He passed.
He did?
Several years ago. I thought you knew.
The Immortal Hulk wishes he could die.
That's true.
Like the Jolly Green Giant. The Immortal Hulk is by Al Ewing, and I forgot who the art is by. Carl Kessel, I think, is the main artist. It's what if the Hulk was a horror comic instead of a bad comic.
Because it's very revolutionary that they make a second good Hulk story.
Yeah. The first good Hulk story is Planet Hulk, where what if Hulk was a planetary romance. Like John Carter of Mars.
I kind of like World War Hulk mostly just because he just like comes back and beats people up.
Well, I just kind of see that as an extension of Planet Hulk.
That's true.
But the Immortal Hulk is like the first good Hulk comic in fucking decades. Damn. Like I want to say,
and it's like it went from like me not caring about Hulk comics at all to being like, wow, this is one of the best comics now. Like period.
Well,
yeah.
Martin at our local comic shop, he let me know that issue 1 of it, if you have a first edition, it's like $200 right now.
Jeez.
And that went up in like no time. So apparently people are like really on this Hulk train. Yeah. I am.
Well, this is the first time like reading like a Marvel or DC comic in like a really long time where I've like, so I've been just buying trades. I've seen panels where I've just gone, whoa, like to a room of no one.
How like it's just like adult and graphic.
I'm very like I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised it's not being published under Max in some scenes.
Is Max the Marvel? Like...
It's kind of like their rest in peace Vertigo, but it was their
like adult line.
Yeah.
So like Immortal Hulk has a lot of body horror.
Dude, hell yeah!
There's definitely some like Cronenberg level stuff.
Yeah,
no,
it's very.
There's a thing.
I've seen panels. Yeah,
there's a thing that happens with Absorbing Man.
Oh yeah,
that like is jaw dropping because like it's a thing that happens that you're just like, whoa! But then there's a panel afterwards that makes it just like emotionally miserable.
Yeah,
and then it cuts back to the action, and then you're like, whoa!
Because you have to feel a different way about it now.
Well, because it's like. It's a horrific thing to look at, and then you're like, oh, this is crushing, and then it's another horrific thing to look at.
Yeah.
And then it goes into a new plot arc, which is insane.
Dude, this...
Hulk's not having a good time in that scene either.
No
one's having a good time here.
Can I just jump into it?
He's
like,
very...
not knowing anything else from other Hulk comics or other Marvel comics?
Characters will show up, but
that's the thing
you'll know enough.
I really like comics. I've been wanting to get more into them, actually. When it comes to Marvel and DC superhero stuff, there are some I'm not really a superhero guy, but there are some select few that like, look interesting. The whole crossover with other stuff that I don't care about usually deters me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
some of the crossovers are very good. Many of them are bad.
Yeah, in general. Not
and Jellyman and the Hulk.
Yeah.
No.
You said there's
Immortal Hulk doesn't have any... I mean, like, it doesn't have any, like, dedicated crossovers. There's an issue where the Avengers show up.
Someone like Doc Samson will show up, and it'll be like, here's a quick rundown of his history with Hulk.
Okay, that's
here's, like, a quick rundown.
That's what I want.
Doc Samson's, like, an old character.
Yeah.
Like, a really old character.
It's like, okay, here's who this guy is, here's what the history is, and it's just, like, a couple pages.
That's all I ask.
The only one that gets brought up that, like, probably... I mean, like, a lot of people who, like, know stuff about comics probably know who, like, Rick Jones is. Rick Jones gets brought up. Oh, you know, he was Bruce Banner's pal, and...
Rick Jones,
and he was a confidant, and later on he became another Hulkster named A-Bomb.
Was he green or was he like...
He's blue.
I feel like everything that's referenced in the Immortal Hulk can be understood with the context that it gives you. But yeah, like if you want a comic that's emotionally and physically miserable, the Immortal Hulk is the way to go.
I mean, I'm already reading Berserk, and that's a lot. So that's like...
You should read Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's definitely the best comic going to Marvel right now.
It's like where the Hulk should have gone, I feel like.
A million years ago? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because, I mean, he started as a horror comic. And, like, he should continue to be a horror comic, probably. Because he works really good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't equate him with horror before. So
well, it's kind of like what he was. I mean, there's even a bit in the trade about, like, that's kind of what he was originally, was the Hulk was, like, where did he first show up? It was in one of the...
It's like Tales to Astonish,
yeah,
I think.
The writer mentions, like, going into, like, the library and finding the original Hulk comic and, like, being spooked by it because it's a horror comic. And then, like, that's the angle that this comic works from.
Okay, cool. Because I had no idea it was like horror originally. So
yeah,
that's like a really interesting take.
It's like Frankenstein and Jekyll and Hyde mixed together.
That was back when the Hulk was still like gray too.
Yeah, they had the pigment.
He was gray.
Originally he was gray.
Yes. He becomes gray again later.
Yeah, if I could sum up Immortal Hulk with 2 words, it would be Flesh Storm.
That's a song.
No, I would agree.
Awesome.
I would agree.
Something I was curious was also a Flesh Storm. Unless you want to talk more about it.
No, I'm always... up for talking about Flesh Story.
I don't know if it is or not.
Okay.
But you finished it, and I believe you liked it. What's the deal with Too Old to Die Young?
Oh, Too Old to Die Young.
I actually want to watch it now because you really like it.
So Too Old to Die Young.
The only Nicholas Winding Refn, Winding or Winding? What's the deal?
I think it's
Winding.
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 No, like he made. I've only seen Drive, and you wanted me to watch the Pusher movies.
Yeah.
I've only seen Drive. I want to see Pusher. I kind of want to see Neon Demon.
I liked Only God Forgives.
Yeah.
Really? Whoa!
I didn't hate.
I'm a fan. I'm an apologist.
Okay, cool. I'm not the only person in the room.
I think it's got its. I think I liked it more than Neon Demon, to be honest.
Yeah.
Visually, not as much, but that's.
Yeah, but
I haven't
for
seen
people
Neon
who
Demon
don't know, like Nicholas Winding Refn, his most popular film was Drive. He made a big splash with that in Hollywood. It was like a big. It was like unprecedented for like an indie film to get as big as it did. And
2011?
Yeah.
I mentioned on the last episode when I was first getting into movies with like crime movies and shit. Drive was on my list. That was one of the first big ones I got into.
Drive is one of his most accessible movies, and Too Old to Die Young is maybe the least accessible thing he has created.
Really? More than Only God Forgives?
Well, Only God Forgives is only like an hour and a half or so.
Yeah.
Too Old to Die Young is it's 10 episodes. It's an Amazon streaming series that's 10 episodes, and each episode is like an hour and a half to an hour and like 45 minutes.
Oh boy.
And
whoa, that's longer than I thought it was.
Yeah, and each episode is paced like a Nicholas Winding Refn movie, but like Drive but slower.
Oh, I might watch this.
I'm honestly curious about it. I have like concerns with Refn.
What, Amazon Prime?
But like,
yeah, it's Amazon Prime.
I don't know. Outside of those concerns
with Refn?
Well, I don't know. My take on Neon Demon.
Well, here's the thing that I think really elevates Too Old to Die Young. I can only assume. Speaking of comics, it's co-created and co-written by Ed Brubaker, who is probably the best crime comics writer of the 21st century.
What else did he do? That name rings a bell.
He's written comics like Criminal,
that's the one I know.
Kill or Be Killed.
He wrote both. Those are the two I know.
Yeah, those are the big two, I guess.
Those are the two I know.
And Too Old to Die Young I got really sucked into it, but it's definitely an acquired taste, and it's a huge time commitment.
I just finished a 7-season show, which is Mad Men, like I said. I kind of want to jump onto something else that's like real long.
Neon and
there's demons.
Yeah. No, like
they should make a movie about that.
Hey, that's a good idea. It's $1 million idea right there.
It's definitely worth watching the first episode and seeing if you like the first episode.
Okay. They're each movie length, so I might as well deal with it.
Yeah. So I recommend the first episode of Too Old to Die Young.
I'll watch that and Solaris back to back.
And then you can see if you want to continue from there. Just without going into specifics, though, just like one last thing about Too Old to Die Young.
Yeah.
Just like it gets so crazy conceptually because like there's a thing that happens at the end of one episode that I looked at and I'm like, this is metaphorical. And only metaphorical. And then
but not literal at all.
Yeah, and then the next episode it's like, no, this is literal.
Yo.
And I was like, oh, okay.
On that note, I think we're gonna wrap it up. We've been talking for like time.
A couple minutes.
You got no watch. What was that?
Time to get away.
I think we covered everything we wanted to. Any of you guys ever play the game Ghost Trick?
What?
Oh, no. That's the one you. Is that the one you were sending snaps of that one time? Anyway,
I was hoping See, you had a positive reaction. I was hoping everyone would go, "What?" and I could be like, "Great, no one saw it. Time to move on."
Fuck! I fucked up the outro.
Fucked up a bit, man. It's okay. What?
I saw the main character once. What's his name? Like Wetzel or something?
Wetzel?
And his pretzels.
His name is Sissel.
I was close.
You were kind of close.
Never heard of Ghost.
Dude, it's the director of Phoenix, right?
Have you seen the man with the big yellow hair and the red suit with the sunglasses?
I don't think so.
Capcom made it.
All right. Well, I was expecting
like
crickets, but we got like actual chatter.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Is it still recording? Yes. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to this episode of Backlog Media. We'll come back eventually and talk about films. What are you doing?
It's scary.
No, it's very.
All right. You got...
We're going to talk about B-movie next time.
We're talking about B-movie next time.
Ernest Goes to Africa, B-movie.
Give him back real quick? No, please.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to
hold him up, facing.
Yeah.
And then somebody sing that song from Lion King.
What's this? Which
Which
one?
one?
Hey, everyone sing the song from Lion King.
Everybody,
In heaven,
Oh, it feels good to be
everything's
alive.
in
It feels good to be a bee.
Everything's alright.
Hakuna Matata.
Heaven.
Put that stupid fucking thing that Eric showed me before.
Oh, you mean like
Johnny
a little
Moseley.
end cap in the show? Oh yeah, no, I want to do.
Mad Jimmy tricks or whatever.
The Mad
All right, all right.